Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Thank you so much for joining me this Sunday. I hope you've had a very happy weekend. I'm starting a little late. This is not a new time change. We just had some things surface in last couple days, and so I had to push the how would you say it? Push the stream 1 hour back. Let's see. Looks like we have a few people here, and probably audio is good because I just checked it. But it would be nice just to make sure the audio is also good, and then I'll put the camera on just for a little bit. I actually let me, yeah, everything should be good. I don't feel rushed, but there's, like, been a few things going on, some good things, but a few things nonetheless. Alright, let's try. I'm gonna kick my cable. That's probably not a good thing. 1 sec, and let's see how camera looks. Looks good to me, so all right, so welcome. I hope you guys are doing well. Again, we've got my wonderful professor and channel member. It says, "Don't mess with perfection." We could talk about that. Yeah, it's not trying to make my channel the perfect channel, but I, well, we're going to be talking about YouTube today, if that's okay, because I'd like to just tell you guys what's going on with what I've been thinking. I feel like it's a good break. I didn't really have too much of a topic anyway. So I'm like, well, let's just use this as the opportunity. Use the opportunity just to say what I've been thinking about for my channel. Brian Gilmartin, also channel member, says, "Rethink your channel. What could be wrong with it?" We'll get to it. There's nothing actually wrong with my channel. I just want to be transparent with what's happening. And nothing bad. It's just things I've been thinking about. And Ace is in the house. He says there's no reason to update. YouTube wants quality compromise. Well, rest assured, the stuff that I want to do is very sincere to me, as they say, authentic to me, and it will be good. We'll get into what it is, but it's genuine to me, my personality, my vocation, my passion, which obviously is mainly music. So there's that. We've got Amy L in the house. Good to see you. We've got Final Fantasy Fan 12. Good also to see you. We've got Samuel Proctor. And we've got Bebop Bandicoot. I hope I say your name. I like to say your name really fast because I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, even though it's a fairly famous character. Yay, finally on time. Well, yeah, actually, so I started an hour late. I think I will go back to 5:30 or 5. Let me just give you a life update. The reason why we were, or at least I was a little late on my stream today, is that my mother-in-law, Professor Geek's mom, has ordered us a new washer and dryer unit, as well as a fridge for pretty much a steal of a deal. And we're hoping that it's scheduled tomorrow. So I needed the extra time this afternoon to get the unit out and dust it and clean it and scrub it, just with all that gunk behind. Because if you don't really move your unit over time, it can get really gross. And so it wasn't really bad, but it just needed some cleaning from behind. And that way the people who install it can just unhook it, get that out there, and then put in the new unit. And so I wanted just a little extra time this afternoon to do that before our date night, because Prof and I, we have our date every Sunday, for Stargate and all of that. So that is the first thing. And my wonderful Prof says, "You look and sound great." Good. The door's open, so I don't know how that affects the sound. Probably doesn't much. And I think I feel like my voice is a little higher than normal. And I think that's because it's so hot outside. And if you don't eat the right nutrition for like severe heat, you just got to be careful. And so I've been trying to be very nutritious with what I, take in as far as food, because it's so hot outside. You guys eat healthy. You guys find out what you need to eat to keep those muscles going, because it is burning outside. It's been a very hot week, but I feel like that's actually caused a lot of tension in my muscles as well. So I might have a higher voice than normal, but that's okay. All right. Anyone else? I think I mentioned Samuel Proctor. Welcome. Good to see you. And Bebop says, "I met myself. LOL." Yeah, I knew what you meant. And we've also got Private Eye. Good to see you. So I think that's everyone. Now, one thing before I forget about StreamYard and YouTube and streaming, on StreamYard, or I should say, streaming on YouTube through StreamYard. That's what I meant to say. Um, Sometimes I don't like being on YouTube. I feel like it's just too much. There's a huge delay. I don't really watch myself, but I do see myself. And there could be up to like a 5 to 8 second delay on YouTube that will totally distract me with my sound. So not that I look at myself too much, but if my lips are moving to something that I'm not saying, it's very distracting. Also, I just don't like the extra streaming going on with the streaming on StreamYard just to maybe it saves bandwidth. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. But the that's the reason why I don't have YouTube on when I am doing StreamYard. And why I say that, why I bring that up is because sometimes StreamYard we will not remove comments. They'll just leave comments out that would be otherwise picked up on YouTube. So for instance, last week someone, I think it was Crystal Ashes, gifted 5 memberships, which I was eternally thankful for. And I didn't see anyone pick up those memberships. So I didn't know if the offer still stood, if I closed down the stream. This was toward the end of the stream. And people apparently it could be seen on YouTube that people were picking up the memberships. But I couldn't see that on StreamYard. There was also, I think Spidey Rules was in last week's stream and he was trying to tell me something based on my commentary last week, and he put that in the comments section in the video, and he's like, "Yeah, I tried to tell you." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, StreamYard. Sometimes it just does not pick up comments." So if you feel like you're trying to make a remark and you're insisting on that remark, it's sometimes it's not a matter of missing you or ignoring you, depending on how fast the stream goes or whatever, or if I'm running late. Sometimes StreamYard just doesn't pick up the comments at all. So my apologies. I still prefer StreamYard to YouTube. So my apologies if you say something and StreamYard does not pick it up. But hopefully you'll pick up all the channel member comments. That would be nice. Yeah, that actually that seems like a really important thing to have. Hippopotaverse is in. Nice to see you. I'm eating lentil and cabbage soup. Well, that's very good. Yeah, I think what's that nutrition mineral? Is it like manganese? It's not magnesium, although that's important too. I can't remember what it's called, but something that aids the muscle relief and because your body really tenses up in the heat, especially if you're not hydrated, which I always am. I got my water right here. And let's see, any other housekeeping ideas? Well, actually, let's just talk about memberships really quickly. Um, so I'm just doing one tier. YouTube allows you, if you're a YouTube partner, it allows you to go up to 6 price tiers. I think 5 or 6 price tiers. I'm on the like 199 a month just to support my channel. And I thought, well, okay, it's $2 a month, and so what are the benefits? Well, I would like always to put my channel members either at the start or at the finish of different videos that I would put out during the week. And then started actually, if you saw my music with the channel member video, up to 12 people right now, which is great. I'm very thankful. That's awesome. Hopefully it stays. But your name would be posted, possibly if it works, at the start of the stream as well. So your name, your channel would be at the start of my stream, at the start or end of the video. If I have something that's not related to, or if I don't have any music, for instance, on my videos, it would usually be at the end of the stream. I don't know, just whatever it looks, but start or finish. So your name, your channel would be at the start or finish at the of my videos. Your comments would be posted up on my stream. And then just all around, if you guys have projects, if you guys are, illustrators or artists and, everything is more or less safe for work, I would like to always be mindful of giving you a shout out. Like if you have projects, if you're starting your own channel. So, name recognition for that first tier. And it's going to be the only tier for a long time because I just don't have the time to really think how I can do more, I would say, pricier tiers. Like, oh, for $4.99 a month, you get this benefit, and I just don't have the time right now to work with that. But if you guys wanted to be a member for $2 a month, that would really be wonderful for the continuing of this channel. So let's talk about my channel, and then we'll talk about what you guys have to say. Big Al, wonderful to see you. Sorry you're late. You're not really late, actually. I started an hour late, so you're only like 15 minutes late. So we're going to be here for at least into 7:30 or whatever Eastern time. So yeah, this stream is just an update on YouTube and just kind of my thoughts as a person who does YouTube. I'm not a YouTuber, really for the technical reason that I just don't make income off of YouTube. I am a music teacher and I love that vocation, and I'm very happy to have that job for an X number of years into the future, for however the Lord wants me to, or however long the Lord wants me to teach music. Always happy to do that. So I'm not a YouTuber in the technical sense of the word. It's as much as I'm so grateful for being monetized, it's a wonderful pastime. And you know, I've been at this since, I mean, I've had a channel since like what, 2011, but I started posting videos, I think it was 2019. Yeah, I think it was 2019. And so I've been at this for about 5 years, almost 5 years now. And I've been really happy with the different experience, and when you're doing this on a weekly or monthly basis, when you're maintaining a YouTube channel, this is for you guys out there who would consider having a YouTube channel. Especially, I just strongly encourage you to have your own channel, especially if you are an artist. If you work in projects, if you want to publish things in the future, if you want to make films, if you want to sell photography, like whatever the case is, I would strongly recommend starting a YouTube channel. It's a wonderful endeavor. It can take time. It could take many years. But I would highly encourage any artist out there just to start a channel. You don't need to show your face. A microphone is fine. Some feedback. If you have a passion about something, let's say you're an illustrator who has a passion, maybe you have a catalog of all sorts of anime. Talk about what makes you love a given story or a given art style or artist or something like that. I mean, YouTube is, yeah, it's chock full of that kind of stuff already, and maybe people are intimidated by the level of competition. But I would say, in spite of, you know, despite a lot of flaws that this platform may have, I would say this is the social media. This is the social media platform for artists, at least to just start engaging with people, building a community of listeners and followers. People you can, appreciate their exchange and their feedback. So I'm a supporter. I'm a supporter of this platform. Yes, there have been shenanigans. Yes, there have been things like, should I say it out loud? Maybe, in recent years there had been bans, and there are algorithmic problems. No joke. I mean, just one example. I don't know if it's still going, but I think it's still going. The algorithm will actually now favor incredibly small channels, like channels with fewer than 200 subscribers. Now that might be a benefit, but it's not. Some of these channel members might not be building organic traction because of that. It's a little bit of an artificial thing. Like, well, let's make the algorithm decide that it's like only subscribers, only channels that have like fewer than 100 subscribers. It might work on the short term, but maybe even that person who's just started their channel might not be even ready. Because I will say, even after 5 years of doing this, it's a constant reevaluation for me. It's a constant assessment of what I want to do. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So just before I tell you about that, just anyone who's a serious artist who wants to get an audience, start YouTube. You don't have to have a camera. Just have a microphone. Show your art. I mean, show a montage. Like kind of experiment. I would really encourage people to take that step, even if it takes a good number of years to collect an audience, I think it would still be worth the endeavor. So that's the first thing. Um, so I've been rethinking different things about my channel. Let's actually just say the first major thing. The streams are not changing. So my commentary on art, on popular culture, on different things I think are important to talk about in the way of art and its function and its purpose in society, that is not going to change. I mean, if I do change, it would be a day. I would stream like on a Tuesday instead of a Sunday, but so far Sundays, it is the best day for me. I think Sunday streams are pretty much here to stay for a long time, unless my teacher schedule changes all of a sudden. So that's not changing. So as you see here, you'll see me in this room. I will always be streaming for as long as I can because I love talking with you. I love discussing things with you, and it's a favorite pastime of mine. I absolutely love it. Even if I only had like just like 3 or 4 people and I had something to say, it's a deeply cathartic thing. Not in the way of pain or anxiety or restlessness, but it's a very nice thing to talk about something to an audience, something that's important to you. So anything in the way of art, popular culture, something that speaks to me, something that resonates with me. If I just talk about it in front of you, looking at you at the camera, it's a wonderful thing. If you again, this is another reason for having a YouTube channel, just even explore streaming. If you have something on your chest or on your chest, that's not how you say it. If you have something to get off your chest, get that off your chest. I don't know how phrases work when I'm streaming. But if you have something pressing and you have to say something, it's very therapeutic. There's almost like a medicinal quality just to talk about what's on your mind. Granted, you could have some controversy, especially if you have strong opinions. Yeah, you'll naturally have pushback. You'll have trolls. You'll have people who try to like be sophists against your argument. They'll try to bring you down a couple of pegs and they'll want to take you out with their own opinions. That's the nature of the beast. And I kind of I don't enjoy it like I enjoy engaging with trolls. I actually don't engage with trolls. You'll have pushback, and you just have to find what the best thing is. If you do you want to talk to them, do you want to have an exchange, do you want to hide them from their channel, do you want to block them? I mean, you'll find what's best for you. It's not. There's no one answer to that, but I actually don't mind the pushback because when I say something that means a lot, when I'm thinking about something, when I'm ruminating over something, I say it on stream, like on on the online square. It's just to have that idea out there is a very important experience. So it's been great. So streaming's great. Streaming is not going to change. So you will see me on Sundays, Sunday afternoons, give or take different holidays, but definitely you'll see me on Sundays. So don't worry. Don't you worry. I'm not changing anything about the streaming. What I am thinking is it's just something that's been really on my mind in the last couple of years with YouTube. And that is how I need to like what should I do with my content? So this is not streaming content. I'm not talking about my Sunday streams. I'm talking about videos that I need to get out there, but it's been a journey for me, and I'll explain what that means. So, if you want to be a successful YouTuber, whatever that may mean, you're pretty much encouraged to post things every week and more video content than streaming content. And so there's this, and it's been like a years long thing, like for 10 to 15 years, whatever it has been with the history of YouTube. But like every talking head on YouTube, every YouTube commentator, even people who aren't YouTube specialists, even people who are just running their own channels, they will say, they all agree, it's kind of part of the consensus, that to keep your channel going, to keep it growing and get it that traction that you're looking for, you're really encouraged to post weekly. Now, since 2019, I've been doing that. And what's really happened with my channel in the last 5 years is this. When I first started posting YouTube videos, it was strictly music. It was tinkering around in SuperCollider. It was working with my original music in Logic Pro, and it was, playing with violin and all of that. But then when I started live streaming, I was hoping, and I thank the Lord it turned out to be this case. I was actually hoping to engage with musicians and other composers, not really to collaborate, but just not to collaborate with, but uh, just hear what they have to say, learn about their musical projects. And so I was hoping my videos with SuperCollider and Logic Pro was going to attract the attention of more music, like a more music-based audience. Well, when I started live streaming, I was already engaged in Professor Geek's chat even before we knew each other. And so people started, following me when I started streaming, like, oh, it's all these people that follow Professor Geek. Why is that? And I think Professor Geek had a thing. He kind of wanted to, check me out, And so I was floored. I was like, well, this is interesting. Like, I didn't mean to live stream for the comic book audience, the popular culture audience. But then the more I was listening, I was like, well, these are channels I listen to. Professor Geek, his friend Big Al, Fourth Age, David Stewart, like all these people who have commentary on the popular culture. So I was listening to that kind of stuff just on my own pastime, just that because I was interested in what people had to say about that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, well, okay, with my music education, in college and my experience in the liberal arts, getting 3 music degrees, I have something to say about things like the deconstruction of the archetypes or things like melody and all of that. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll put my knowledge of what college was into my YouTube channel for the sake of things like art and popular culture. I, for a long time, I've been a Star Wars fan. I talk about Star Wars and talk about what Disney's been doing with Star Wars. And so it sort of shifted to that. And that's going to stay as far as my live streams. And I was still continuing my music videos with Logic and SuperCollider. And I was getting better with those videos over time. They weren't really tutorials back then, and they're still not really tutorials. I'm still exploring that. But I called them demos, like Logic Pro demos, SuperCollider demos. And I was posting a lot of content. And over time, a lot of these, I would say a handful of these have become what we call, what people call evergreen content. So no matter how old the video is, it still keeps getting views. And I'm very happy about that. For the longest time, I just wasn't getting views for a lot of things, but I stuck with it. And then it's not like a lot. It's not tens of thousands of views, but it's enough where, a handful of videos just keep getting people interested. And those are my tutorials in Logic and a little bit in MuseScore, which is a free music software that I work with transcriptions and notation and all of that. And I'm still going to look to giving like tutorials under 2 minutes, because a lot of people appreciate like, just give me the answer. Why? Because I was such a listener. I was such a viewer. I don't need a 9-minute video to find one thing. Like, okay, let me find this answer and let me record it in under 2 minutes. And people really appreciate that. So it's been evergreen content since then with my MuseScore. And thankfully, and I'm really thankful for this, but like my Star Wars content, like even from 3 years ago or 4 years ago now, like it's been 4 years since I really started talking about Star Wars. And then like 2 years ago, I kind of quit because I was getting tired of it. But even so, the Star Wars, like some things about like Ahsoka, for instance, keeps getting views. Like there's some evergreen content, and it did take years. Like it took 3 years or 4 years for that to really pick up. And when I first published my thoughts on Star Wars, I got a lot of pushback. A lot of people got mad at me. I was like, man, I'm getting a lot of pushback, but hardly any views. But now it's the reverse. I'm getting a steady stream of views for those videos, and it's Professor Geek experiences this. He experiences this once in a while himself, but sometimes we we get people commenting like, when at the time of you posting this, I totally disagreed with you, but now I agree with you. You were right all along. And I don't mean to like toot my own horn, but it helps. It really does kind of help the experience because you don't like getting pushback. No, I mean, no one really likes pushback. Some people thrive on trolls. And not all the pushback I received has been from straight up trolls. Some have been, but I mean, some people have good arguments where they would disagree with me. Some people would really try to belittle my intelligence. But whatever the case is, wherever on the gamut that pushback was, um, I got a lot more upfront with the video than I have now. Which is kinda nice. It's kinda satisfying. It took, like, 3 years before that happened, but it was satisfying. So all this to say is, most of my evergreen content that I think is really important for maintaining a YouTube channel has been music related. This makes sense because I'm a composer and, my artist name right here well, let me see if I can point that right there. It's sound engraver. I work with electronic music. You heard the music at the start of the stream. That's an upcoming track for an upcoming album I would like to release this year, like hopefully in a few months, depending on how fast I go. And that track is called Cirrus. Like the cloud formation that looks like pulled cotton. I'm a composer, but art is a thing that's really, really important to me as a musician. So I'm not a digital artist. I'm not an illustrator. I'm not a painter. I'm not a sculptor. But when people say artist, they think more of the physical medium. I'm more of the oral medium, obviously, with music. And I think my channel, at least in the way of videos, like posting videos, needs to be more music focused, whether that be a tutorial, but also other things that I really don't want to say right now because stuff that I have in mind, I think people would really like in the future. I mean, like a larger audience would like in the future, but I don't know how far into the future. I mean, the stuff I'd like to do, I think would take another good 3 to 5 years to even attempt. Not attempt, but develop over time. And so I won't mention what I have in mind, but just to give a bit of a tease, it's stuff I would really like as far as like video game soundtracks. Not me composing video game soundtracks, but I have a deep appreciation for very good video game soundtracks, whether that be analysis of something or performance of something way into the future, because those kinds of videos would take a long time to establish. So, and I don't have the equipment right now to explore that. Not yet. Maybe sometime soon. We'll see. But something that could be what we call evergreen content. I have a love for saying different things about art and giving commentary about art that's separate from the streams, from the live streams here. And unfortunately, and I love listening to this as a listener myself, but unfortunately, at least for my channel, this draws people away. There are hardly any views. I get under 200, really not even 200. When it comes to commentary, like things that I think people would be interested in, the views are 200 or less, and those videos stagnate. Now, the argument might be, well, sound engraver, what's the problem with that if you're speaking from a place of sincerity, if it's coming from the heart? That is true. I always want to say things that come from the heart, like always be authentic, always be sincere. But there's nothing, at least in the way of YouTube, nothing more disheartening when you put so many hours of recording and editing into a video, saying something that means a lot to you, and then have it be where the views just are not worth the time. Now, on the one hand, I think I could have had that luxury. Like, okay, let me just spend a lot of time on these commentaries. Maybe they'll pick up. That was fine when I was single. When I was just teaching, it was just me by myself. But now that I have a family, now that I'm married and I've got different responsibilities, my free time outside of family and teaching and a little bit of recreation before going to bed has to be in my music composition. It's got to be in my music composing and my sci-fi writing. that has to be the first thing for my free time. And unfortunately, the commentary videos that I love listening to from other channels, it's just too long to make. It sucks up my whole night. So if I want to practice or compose or write, and then like, well, I've got a video I've got to put out during the week. It's it's just like, well, it'd have been one thing if it was like tens of thousands of views. But then you'd kind of be a YouTuber by that point. And it's just never been the thing with my channel. My channel, because it's a little more eclectic, this is for you guys out there too if you want to do more eclectic channels, if you're interested in writing, if you're interested in music, if you're interested in art, if you like if it's more all-encompassing with maybe 2 or 3 different specialties, your channel, speaking from experience, will not grow as steadily as if you were just like an electronic music producer just putting out tracks. Like those kinds of channels, like if your music's really good and you're just live performing your original music on your YouTube channel, that's going to garner a lot more traction, a lot more views, and the subscriber count will go up. The stuff I want to do, I would do if it wasn't so time consuming. It's like, okay, what's my choice for Wednesday night? I could spend an hour composing, an hour writing, an hour of practicing, or I could use all 3 hours and make a YouTube video that gets like 100 views. And I'm like, I am so much better with my time when I'm composing music. So that's that's what I have to say is like for the last 5 years, I've been very frequent. Like it's been I'm very disciplined. I've been very disciplined to put out a video every week. Not including live streaming, just a normal video, tutorial, original music, commentary, whatever the case is. But because of the eclectic, like encompassing topics, um, the viewership has been more or less a punishment for my time and my effort. So what's happening now? So this is where I'm really rethinking my channel. Is I will need to take a step back and say, you know what? Even at the risk of my channel stagnating because I'm not posting frequently, like weekly, even at the risk of that, I will have to say no to YouTube commentary in the week, like videos posted every week. I'll keep doing some live streaming. I'll do shorts, like I'll cut out shorts or I'll cut out snippets of my streams, put them as a short, and then I will garner views that way, which is great because it's actually I've gotten into like a little routine where I can do it pretty quickly, where it's not so time consuming. And actually, the app has the YouTube app. I think it's through the app. I'm not sure now that I think about it, but the YouTube settings, uh, these settings have made it a lot easier over time to do shorts. I'm not really a shorts watcher myself, but I get comparable views doing shorts, just taking little clips off of my streams. And so I'll continue doing that. If I have something very important to say about art or music, put it in a stream, then we'll do that. But as far as the videos, I gotta say no, at least for that. This is incredibly difficult for me. It's almost like a confession because I've been so disciplined for the last 5 years to do this. Um, and people might say, well, what about repackaging your streams and put them in like 5 to 8 to 10 minute videos? And I have done that quite a bit, and it just still does not garner the viewership worth the time and effort where I could be composing. This is not true for every channel, by the way. This is only, well, not only, but this is true for my channel. For instance, Professor Geek will take clips from his live streams and he can do very well with his views. Other channels probably it's the same. I think I can't say a channel right off the bat, but you know, I suspect that a lot of channels who are doing wonderful streams, got a good camera setup, good microphone setup, and then people would just listen. Like, let's say they have like over 10,000 subscribers. So, some of those channels can get away with that. I wish I could. If you want to listen to what I have to say, you'll just have to visit me on my live streams, whether now, like presently, or on the replay. And so, all the YouTube experts out there will say, no, no, no matter what, you've got to post an 8 to 15-minute video every week. And it's like, I will one day, but it's going to be music related that is, I know people would like. I mean, I'll give an example right now. Oh, why don't we just do that? Because I've been thinking about it. Again, this is not for several months down the road. But, something I would love to do is covers for my favorite video game soundtracks. So with violin, maybe voice, but definitely violin and electronic music. And an example is, Chrono Trigger's main theme in a relaxing setting, like when I'm just playing very smoothly on the violin with electronics in the background. Something like that I would love to do. I don't have the equipment for that right now, but that's the kind of content, and that's one of different musical types of content that I would like to do. Things I've been working on is stuff I've been doing for my students as a music teacher, and that's piano transcriptions or violin transcriptions. And maybe that will also get some viewership. But again, I'm just exploring. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Hopefully all that made sense. It was more of I was kind of just speaking, as the thoughts were going. I thought, okay, let me give people an update. So what I will continue doing is the live streams and maybe clip out some shorts from the live streams. What I will not be doing, unless it's music related that I know would be evergreen content, like a tutorial in Logic Pro or MuseScore or SuperCollider. I'll still do SuperCollider. That's another thing too. SuperCollider, I'm going to continue, but it's such a steep learning curve. And I'm right now in the moment, like just a pure student in SuperCollider. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to explain this really well. So let me just get really good with this one technique. And then if it follows through where I can actually, give a demo or a tutorial, then I'll do it. But I'm really in the learning stage right now because SuperCollider is a very steep learning curve. I love it, but it's years to learn for me. It's taken years. So things like SuperCollider, Logic Pro, MuseScore, musical transcriptions, music things related, that's where the meat of my channel is going to be. Anything else like commentary on art and popular culture, that's going to be set for the live streams. So that's my channel update. Let's see what you all have to say. Thanks for listening. It's probably boring for a lot of people, but I had to say it. It feels good. It feels good getting that out there. Hello, Andreas Hernandez. Good to see you. Final Fantasy says, "Oh, you ask what did I miss?" And Final Fantasy says, "You're nothing. You're just in time." Magnesium. Yeah, I was thinking magnesium. Hippopotaverse. That's a great name, by the way. I was thinking magnesium, but there's another bit of nutrition that starts with MAG, and I can't remember what it is. He says 2011 was the golden age of YouTube before the dark times. Yeah, I started 2019. So yeah, I'm a little late. I did start though. Yeah, like you just put up 2011. I think it was 2011 when I started my channel, which I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember at all. I didn't watch YouTube back then. Maybe I just started like the Google account that helped me with that channel, but yeah. Hippopotaverse says, I think I will start to upload my music to my YouTube channel. Cool. I recently bought a smartphone so I can make videos now. Until now, I've only used SoundCloud. SoundCloud might have worked for a lot of people. It did not work for me. Reverb Nation was another one. The interface or the look of it was fine. And it was easy uploads, but I didn't garner any attention from those platforms. YouTube is the best. And actually, depending on your distribution, like, okay, if you actually sign up for DistroKid, link in the description below for the 7% off if you use my name as an affiliate link, and there's a little bit of kickback for me. Thanks. But if you sign up for DistroKid, if you're not signed up already, you, I think, are able, as a feature of DistroKid, you're able to have your own YouTube music channel. I do have one. It's called Sound Engraver Records. So it's a separate music channel with all my stuff on it. I feel like the output is a little more compressed than just a simple WAV file. And I feel kind of bad because I can switch to that account, and I hope sometimes I'll be months late on comments because I'm just not on that account unless I switch over. So I need to actually be a little bit more proactive with that. But even starting through DistroKid, um, even starting just a music channel, and you should be fine there. Yeah. 1 second, I'll be right back. All right. Asa says trolls are fun to troll. I used to think so until, well, no, I never thought trolls were fun to troll. You never feel bad about giving them their medicine. Well, I can't do it. If you, I mean, I did it for some time, to be honest. Not even, I don't think even on my channel. And it's fun until you know it's not really Christian. But even so, even if you're not Christian, it's fun until you realize how much energy and time is sapped right out. I used to, stick it to the trolls for different reasons, and I actually can't. So when I actually do have a troll on a comment, or even in the chat, even though I'm kind of bad at reading trolls in the chat for some reason. Your brain is different when you stream than when you're like sitting on your bed and looking through comments on YouTube. Where was I going with that? I don't know. Uh, Something about trolls. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Um, I'm actually fine with just ignoring them, and if they're quite abusive. Actually, I got my share of trolls really with shorts. Most trolls. I had a short that was actually about to go viral over time. It just would not stop getting views. And at first I'm like, this is great. This is awesome. And it was my rant on the characters in the sci-fi epic The Red Rising, which is a book series, and I couldn't get past the first book, and I said why. I had said what I said, and all the people who love Red Rising, they came after me very hard. Like maybe 1 out of 30 comments was someone who agreed with me, but every single comment was about me being crazy about my opinion. And I left it up for a little bit, and then I took it down. And it really wasn't because of the pushback, even though the pushback stunk. I did not like getting all those trolls. Why I took it down was I'm like, this is the video on my channel that's getting viral. My opinion, how much I did not like with the Red Rising. That's the one that's going viral. And after a few months, I thought, you know what? I don't want to be known for my opinion on the Red Rising. I mean, if you want to ask my opinion on that, then I'd give it to you happily. But I want to be known as a composer. Yes, I want to be known as a sci-fi writer when I finally publish my stuff, but I didn't want to be known as the crazy girl who had her opinions on the Red Rising saga, and or at least the first book, because I didn't read past the first book. And that's when I took it down. I was like, this is not what I want to be known for. And so I finally, after about 4 months, and that video just not stopping, I hated that. You'd think you're like, yeah, I'm getting attention. It's like, no, I really did not like that one getting all the attention. I hate to say this, but the way to get a huge increase, a huge uptick in your viewership is to farm outrage. And ultimately, that's not what I want to be known for. So there you go. There you go. Ghost Planet, welcome. You say your theme is music and the professor theme is storytelling. Yeah. And I would say storytelling is a theme of mine in a different medium, whether it's music or art in general. But yeah, but also literature like sci-fi. Amy L. Oh wait, no. Brian, let me post your comment up. My channel member. Not sure if I would ever commit to YouTube, mostly because I have other things in my life that would get in the way of it. Yeah, I mean that's a fair assessment of your life and your situation. I would recommend too. Again, I'm so happy that my channel is monetized, and I don't take that for granted. It's gas money, it's grocery money. When I finally get the payout, but I just, some people really want to be YouTubers and make their entire income off of YouTube. And I'm not saying I would like shirk from that if it ever came to be. Like if my channel really started collecting views and ad revenue and super thanks and super chats and stuff. Okay, I'm not going to shirk from that. I'm going to be very grateful. I don't think I would leave my job though. At least maybe I would work less hours, but there's something so unsteady about wanting to obtain YouTube as a career because if you're not careful, it takes so much evaluation maintaining a YouTube channel. If you're not careful, you might find, well, these videos get more views. They're not really authentic to me, but it's the way to get the views. Then you might run into a mouse trap. You might find yourself in a mousetrap because it is so much effort. Now, and some people say, "Well, I would leave my 9 to 5 job for this, so all the hours that I'd be working at the 9 to 5 job, I would work on YouTube." And that's a fair point. I would say to that I would say it's still a lot of effort. Even if you didn't have a 9 to 5 job, it's a lot and it's not predictable. See, I know the hourly pay I get as a music teacher. And I know if I work X amount of hours, that's gonna be my paycheck. Some people are like, "Well, I don't need that. I'm a risk taker." Okay, that's your personality. But if you do like routine and if you do like security, I would always have a backup job. Hello. And I wish I could. I really wish I could pronounce your name. Isimono. Is that? I want to see. I want to see if it's part of a language. I know what mono means or mono, but I'll just call you Mono or e-mono. I don't know what I want to call you. You say, I very much would like to hear your analysis on different media soundtracks. That'd be cool in my opinion. Yeah, it wouldn't. I mean, unless it's something like a main theme of Star Wars or some film. I've done analysis on the He-Man theme and the Superman 78 theme. I mean, unless it's those kinds of themes, I would probably default to video games. So, and there are YouTubers out there that just do it they'll do it forever better than I ever could. I would have my own way of saying things, and I'm a music teacher, so I can really convey. I mean, the more I teach music, the more I realize, like, oh man, I have so much passion talking about music. When I get excited about like a chord progression or a melodic line or like the bass line in a certain video game soundtrack, I do get excited. But there are people like Charles Cornell, 8-Bit Music Theory. I mean, there are some really good YouTube channels that are they they've taken the cake when it comes to media analysis. But like what made DuckTales from the 90s, what made their theme song so good? I would love to talk about that. Amy L says, I never understood shorts. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I get the traction I do with shorts, but I try to make my point really succinct, like really concise. And people have appreciated that. I'm grateful because it actually doesn't. I don't do the whole. You guys have probably seen this on your feed if you do pay attention to shorts. I actually sometimes I watch shorts. And when I do, I notice like the words pop up while I'm trying to listen to the person. And at first I thought, well, maybe I should do that while I'm speaking because apparently it's really popular. But it's like, as a viewer myself, I prefer not to do that. So, at the risk of not getting as many views as I would if I put in the text, I'm like, nah, I'll just, if people don't want to listen to me just because I don't have the words popping up in front of my face, then that's that's fine. Bebop says, so long story short, you're switching entirely to music oriented content. For my content, so for um, videos that I post during the week. Now, there are some things, like there's one topic I really think would be evergreen, and it's science fiction related, which is very important to me. I love science fiction. And so I'm not completely ruling out everything. If I think I could get a huge number of views for some ideas that I have, then I would consider those. Sometimes I'm looking for something on YouTube related to science fiction and I can't see it anywhere. And it's like, well, this is really important to me. I want to know what someone else's opinion is, but I don't see it anywhere on YouTube. Maybe I should do it. So something like that would happen. But really, my bread and butter, so to speak, intellectually is music. So it's going to be a little bit more oriented. That's the focus. Not completely ruling out science fiction. Um, what Prof does, what Professor Geek does really well, um, is is he has this podcast where he does like a 45 minute to an hour long podcast with different sections. Maybe he'll talk about westerns here, film noir here, physical media here, video games here. And I'm like, well, I like that too. I like the idea of a podcast format because I really now I don't think I need it right now because I'm more or less streaming. I love talking about art. I love talking about art. But it just it's gonna have to be in another kind of medium. I I'll still talk about art on my live stream, but it's gonna have to be something else than what I've been doing. So yeah, Bebop more or less focused on music when it finally comes, and I'm not posting anything not for a few weeks because I've got a lot of composing to do. But that's where I'm gravitating toward. Samuel Proctor, you say I will always hate the concept of YouTube Shorts, and I was given my reasons firsthand for a few months. It's addictive. Not to me. I find that shorts are not addicting to me. Or addictive. I hope I'm saying my words right tonight. It's been a full day. It's been a great day, but it's been a full day. I'm not addicted to shorts. I'll watch like maybe one short or two and then I'm done. I love long form. It's my favorite. And you conclude all of the sudden it's eaten hours and hours of my day. Yeah, I don't have that problem. I can see where you would want to like stave off on the shorts. So that's good that you found that out about yourself. You also say, just as the creator of these types of shorts intended. Oh yeah, yeah. Some of these shorts are really well done. Like some of them are so well done. Some of these people, like especially for comedy and sketches and skits and stuff, I'm like, man. But here's the thing: something that would take hours to make because of their skits and their comedy and all of that, or dancing or something. Like, and they put all those hours to creating that one 45, 60-second short, but they get millions of views. So it's worth it. I can't do that. I can't spend so many hours. Hey, Junk. Yeah, I'll just put this up too. Yeah, Chrono Trigger Lounge Remix. Okay. Well, here's the thing, like that's a really good idea unless it already exists. It probably does exist out there, like lo-fi Chrono Trigger or whatever. But the theme music can actually really work. The main theme can really work as some relaxing music. Really, like some low low jazz kind of nightclub setting. Except it'd be for violin and electronic music instead of like a jazz band or a jazz ensemble. But what was I gonna say? So Something like that. But the other themes, like Shala's theme, sorry, her name is Shala to me. I know people say it's Scala. I'm like, no, I think it's Shala. Is it Shala or Scala? People say Scala. I've always said Shala. I think Shala sounds prettier. You know, Shala's theme is it's relaxing. Quarters of Time. Professor Geek loves that track. He says it's so relaxing. So that could work as a little bit of a relaxing thing. Um, Isla, I think, even though like she's prehistoric, I love her character so much. Her theme's great too. Even though she's prehistoric and she's primitive, I would probably have some like hardcore electronic music with some drum kits and stuff with that. It'd be fun. Frog's theme was great. All right. Andrea says YouTube shorts are better than TikTok. I've never been on TikTok. I don't know what it's like. And I don't want to know. I don't have to go there. Bebop says, question, would you take commissions to create music pieces? Say I make a character and I want a theme for him. Would you make me a score for him similar to an art commission? Oh, that's a wonderful question. Yes, depending on the project. Also depending on my schedule. I mean, you know, I have a rate for that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I would always be open for that. That kind of thing does take many hours for me. Not because I'm inept or I don't have the capacity to. I just like to make it sound really good. But I would, you know, or even if it's like a flat rate, and then I just send you sketches, and you're like, oh yeah, perfect. I'll have a theme for that. Um, one thing I would just say is, as long as it's family friendly. I mean, it can be adult themed or whatever, but nothing too, you know, I can't just because, you know, my Christian faith, my conscience, I can't put myself composing a music for something like, not to say you would, but do this, but like something that is antithetical to like value and, you know, family dynamics, or, you know, like I, you'd be surprised, maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but I've had people, you know, reach out to me saying, "Oh, I love your stuff, you know, let's collaborate if you can." And I'll back when I was on Twitter, I'd look at their Twitter and it's like, this is borderline satanic. So, I mean, I would have to see, I have to get a feel for the project. Um, but yeah, I'm open to that. Something like that. Yeah. That's a wonderful question. And it would be yours. I wouldn't have rights to it. That would be part of the composer's rate. But yeah, it would be yours. Eloise, welcome. Good to see you. It's 7:30. This is great. Amy L says, I sort of thought about long form content for quite a while ago. The real problem is no one can find anything because YouTube search is useless. It's hard. Yeah. I mean, I really wish YouTube would improve. It's not. Yeah, you kind of have to be very clever with what you're putting in the search engine tab or scroller. Is that what you would call it? That little thing that goes across your screen. I don't know. Yeah, you have to be a little clever, because I will try to find answers. I'm like, this is the world of YouTube. All the answers should be out there, and then I'll have a problem in some music software. I'm like, there's got to be an answer. There's no answer. Is that because of the YouTube search engine? Or is it really because no one's made a video about this? Well, darn it, I'm going to find the answer myself and then I'm going to make a video about it. And some people, and I've done that for things like Logic Pro, and people will come to me, they're like, thank you, I've been looking for this answer. I'm like, okay, okay. Those are the videos that mean a lot to me. So okay, so Samuel Proctor, I suspected that. You say if you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account. So I must have set up Gmail around that time, and then I didn't start making content until like 2019. Oh yeah, SoundCloud. I was never a listener of Samuel Proctor of SoundCloud. I was Pandora. I was Pandora for a while, and then Spotify. Oh, vinyl. I'll check out vinyl. I'll check that out. Yeah, cool. I'm not a fan of Spotify anymore. The reason why I'm keeping my Spotify account is I have all these albums I've listened to over the years, and I want that as a reference for when I wanna, like, purchase the album. I just need to buy these albums that I've collected, like, found on Spotify. I will actually one of these streams, I wanna talk about kind of the music industry and the playlistification of music, and how that really hurts the musician and the composer. I don't have anything solid right now, but I think it'd be really interesting because it kind of the music industry and what is happening with that is really tying um, there's a connection between that and things that are happening with things like companies like Marvel and Warner Brothers and all that. Bebop says YouTube back in the aughts was a little similar to Live Leak. I have not heard of that. You can actually search very disturbing stuff and they upload on there. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, I mean, especially when you're trying to find alternative media and then you like go on that's probably better now than when it first started like 5 years ago, but some of this alternative media it, it, it looked rough. It looked rough when they first started because, like, all the people are like, "Oh, freedom of speech," and then let's say everything under the sun. It's like, why is this on the front page of this website? See, I'm not against censorship, or no, I am against censorship, but there but people can really take it to the extreme where it's like, well, some companies really just can't. They really can't post this, and hate it or like it. That's what they might have to do. Ace says, "I guess it's just me. Then again, I'm evil incarnate." I don't know what you said before. Hippopotamus, I love saying that name. SoundCloud now have a feature in their next Pro package, okay, Pro package, where they will recommend your selected tracks to over 100 listeners. I'll check that out then, because I haven't seen these platforms in like 4 years. I started getting a lot more listens since I started using it. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Is Hippopotamus, is that your artist name? Or is that a YouTube channel name? Go ahead and clarify on the in the chat there. It's a great name to say. So yeah, yeah, Junka, I agree with you. You say once a troll gets attention, they'll never leave, whether it's bad attention or good attention. Um, you know, I'm careful about that on my comment section because if you like some people say, well, no, trolls are engagement. I was like, yeah, it might be engagement, but is it engagement you want? Now, if you want it, then okay, have trolls in your YouTube comment section, but if you don't want that attention, like I did not want to be known for my opinion on the Red Rising. That was just a short I posted, and then it was getting many more views than any of my YouTube music stuff. And I'm like, no, this is not what I want to be known for. So you have to kind of have that assessment of yourself. Andrea says, I mean, YouTube sounds like a more fun job than working at Walmart. Yeah, I mean, there are pros and cons. I mean, again, I'm not a YouTuber, so I don't know the full experience. Um, there's just like Walmart, you have security in that, like as long as you do your job, you get to work on time, you're decent with people, you're not creating any shenanigans or any trouble with your employers or your fellow employees. You'll have your job. It might not be glamorous being at the cashier or stocking in the back or whatever, but you still have security. And as much as I love this pastime on YouTube, I also have a sense, like, I wanna always be a little on the realistic side when it comes to platforms like YouTube. So far, it's going strong. So far, we don't see any telltale signs that something is wrong with, like, the infrastructure, for instance. But it won't be around forever, depending, and I wanna always be sure, like, something can happen in the infrastructure of this platform that could cause me to stop talking with you guys, which I would never want because I like talking with you guys. But and that's why I'm so grateful for my music teaching job so far because I have transferable skills with teaching. Like, okay, something should happen where the music stores close down, and that's a real threat actually, even in recent years, with a certain company, a couple companies. Uh, Even if the music stores close down, I'm like, well, okay, well, do you guys still want to teach online or me to teach you online? Some people won't do it; they don't like online. Some people will. They're like, well, if I have no other option, I'll stick with you, and then I could charge double because I only get like half the pay from the music store. So yeah. Brian Gilmore says, I've always pronounced Ayla's name as Ayla. I've always said I. It could be Ayla. It's probably Ayla. I probably need to listen to like I'll say A. Well, if you think about it, if it was the Japanese, like she had a Romanji name, it, it would probably be Aira, like R-A. A-I-E-ra. Is that how you pronounce it? It's been years since I've spoken Japanese. So Aira, Aira. So I think I pronounce it Isla in my head. I don't think that's the reason I started to, but my my guess is it is Isla, but I could be wrong. Chrono, you take Isla with you now. I picture her with like a slight Romanian accent. I don't know why. Because when I actually play video games, I actually read the lines out loud and I have like different voices for different characters. Prof found it funny when I would do that. Final Fantasy says, "Oh, believe me, Sound Graver, there are a lot of people who are head over heels for Isla. Yeah, those character designers, those original designers, they made her really appealing. They made her really attractive. I bet a lot of people were very jealous of Kino. I mean, I'd be personally scared to have such a dominating female, but some people love it. One second. I think something. Sorry. I don't. So junk. Oh, let me make sure I've got the comments going. Junk says, I don't know if you've heard about an upcoming game, Fantasian. I think I've heard of it. It's being released for all platforms. It's made by the original Final Fantasy creator and scored by Uematsu. Oh, cool. That's cool. I didn't know about that. I think I've seen it. And I can't even really remember what it looked like, but the name sounds familiar. That's cool. That's nice. Samuel says it's not just YouTube. Google search engine has gone down. Oh yeah, that is for sure. That is for sure. Continue on down. Let me grab a swig of water real quick. All right. Amy L says, G. I'll just call it G because I don't know if YouTube will be sensitive for saying it. Puts on a facade that they know. Oh, AI. They can't even do things like spam filtering, speech to text, text language detection. They just misled people into believing them. I'll believe it. I never approached the AI platform. The only way I use AI is if I'm not aware that I'm using AI. Like if I start doing like thumbnails, for instance, I think are licensed images based on a membership I have. But if I start suspecting, I'm like, oh no, I'm not completely against using AI for thumbnails. I mean, some people do it so well, but I'm not intentionally. Like I would have to be told, oh, did you know that this what you're doing right here is AI generated? And I'm like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. Because they're just like really like stock photos, but a lot of stock photos now, depending on what platforms you go to, it's like, oh, least they actually say, like, where I've been, they've been say AI generated. I appreciate that. I just want everything to be labeled what they are. Um, uh, just yeah, great question, Bebop. You said you ask, could you make a score for my character that sounds similar to Danny Elfman's score from Ang Lee's Hulk movie? Um, I have loved that theme since I was a kid. Re-listened to it. It sounds great, in my opinion. Um, that's a really good question. Okay, so this is a great question. I do have I could try, but I can't really mirror different styles that are something like Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman is his own style. Um, and I would know what to do as far as like, oh, what musical techniques is he working with? What harmony is he working with? I mean, I would know, but I'm also okay, this is a good question. I'm also not an orchestra composer. I could be if I practiced it, but my and I've had orchestra experience. I've been in orchestras for many years, as a violin player, but, as far as a composer, that's a whole set of chops that I've just not really worked at in the last 10 years, and so I probably wouldn't be the best candidate for that. My now I can make my electronic music sound very organic. I can make it sound real and primitive, and there are a lot of great things about electronic music in that way, but it wouldn't be like straight up, Blade Runner synthesizers or whatever, but my main medium is electronic music, and, so therefore, like, my best genre for, like, a graphic novel trailer or whatever would be something out of sci-fi, to be honest. But I'm just throwing that out there. Someone clip that. I'm not a big fan of freedom of speech. Sound engraver July. It's not July. Oh, well. Yeah, I know what you mean by that now. Oh, artist name by Hippopotamus is Dances with Trees. Oh, you're following me on SoundCloud. I see. I thought I took that account down. I didn't even know I was still on SoundCloud. I thought I took that down. I don't even know if I could get into that account. That was years ago. Okay, well, yeah, I'll take a look at it within the next month or so. Thanks for following me. I apologize if you've left comments and I have not ignored you. I thought I took that account down. I guess I didn't. Maybe I should check out like I don't even know what tracks I have up there anymore because they were old tracks. Like before I think those were tracks of music that before I even released it on Bandcamp. Yes, slight Professor Geek says, "Oh, yes, a slight Romanian accent. I should stop right now." Oh, let's see. Yeah, I probably so Bebo, I'm actually not really well versed in those kinds of styles, like Elfman. Love Elfman. I really appreciate his musical style. But yeah. But the other thing too is having an orchestra. So like it's not that I can't compose for an orchestra. And with the libraries that we have now, it's definitely doable. And I probably have the computer space for having an orchestral library. But I would have to actually invest in getting a sound library that is an orchestra. And they the with the quality that I'm looking at, it'd have to be pretty steep in price. Yeah. So just to give you ideas, hopefully that helped. All right, let's continue on down. It is almost 8, so I'll probably wrap it up in a few minutes. Nice track art does oh, nice. Oh, you say hippopotamus, nice track art does tend to increase listeners in my experience. Yeah, and I have art now. I have art for all my albums. I'll check it out. I should go back to SoundCloud. Maybe they did. Maybe the platform has improved and I just forgot all about it. Reverb Nation, I don't know if that's improved. If you've been on Reverb Nation, yeah. All right. But then again, this was my opinion from a few, like what I knew of the platforms like 4 or 5 years ago. All right. Duel of the Fates. Analysis for Duel of the Fates. Yeah, I could do something like that. Yeah. Oh, Samuel says that was a mistake. I forgot that it was June this month. It's almost over. We're almost done with it. I think we've survived the month pretty well. I think people haven't been doing their political shenanigans as of late. Let's see. Amy says I got an inquiry for commission from my Behance a few days ago. What's your artist name? Hadn't touched it in 9 years. Oh, turned out it's no. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. All right. Don't they have digital machines? Bebop says that can emulate orchestral. Yeah, those orchestral libraries. But the one I would want would be like $700. I'd have to check. Yeah, because I prefer high quality stuff. Like I have to, if I'm going to be in the orchestra or work in the orchestra, it's got to sound convincing to me, and I can make it sound convincing. But I'd have to be impressed before I went into that medium. But even so, it's been like 15 years since I've even orchestrated for orchestra. So anyway, so yeah, Spitfire. Yeah, I'll just put that up. Spitfire. That was the one I was eyeballing when I did. But again, I'm an electronic music composer, so it's again like stuff I would like to do in the future with music. I just right now don't have the equipment for. I don't need much. I don't need much. I'll give you the $700 for it. LOL. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. But even so, like I could give you sketches of at least sketches for instruments that you're like, I don't like these instruments. Then we could work something out. So I would at least start with what I have. And then we'll see. But if you want, I mean, you can send me an email. My what is my email? Can I do that? Can I? It won't. I'm just giving you my email right now. If you send an inquiry to that email, contact@soundengraver, that's my business email. If you had any inquiries there. All right, so that was fun. I needed to let's say the phrase correctly. I needed to get that off my chest. So just as a recap, so as far as rethinking my music channel, I really want to do commentary that is more music oriented, that I know would garner views, that would make the work, the effort worth it. And streams aren't changing. I still love talking about art and popular culture, so nothing is changing about my live streams. This is just where I'm going, where I'm taking the channel, and what it could look like in the future. So in any case, I think we'll leave it at that. I wish you guys a wonderful stream. Thanks for just hanging out and talking about YouTube. It's not art, it's not pop culture, but needed to say that. And until I see you next, keep producing, presenting, and promoting that wonderful, good art you love, and I will catch you later. Take care.